Okay, quick video just with an overview of some training tips for AccuWare's label connector for QuickBooks. What you see up on the screen now is the main user interface for the software. So in most cases we're using purchase orders, sales orders, invoices, and even receipts against purchase orders to gather up items in a large group to quickly print labels with just one press of the print button. But I wanted to kind of just get into some things for existing users so that they can get a refresher on how to use and what the structure of how the label connector is set up. So first of all, obviously, we have the functionality where when you press get order, we query the data. That's pretty straightforward. You just put the order number in and the data comes up. Now what we have in this drop down here is all of the locally installed printers will appear automatically here. The last selected printer and last used printer will reappear and stay already selected as long as you remain in the software. So now here you see we have a drop down list of all these bartender files, and I just want to cover quickly why these appear here. Basically, label connector is really passing print jobs to bartender in the background after we gather up a lot of the data that's in the transaction and we pass it to a label in bartender. So how do we make these bartender labels appear here in this drop down? We do that by just setting this setting under general settings to go ahead and just select the path to where we're going to deposit those bartender files. So if you're designing labels in Bartender to work with label connector, we call those templates, you'll want to make sure when you're done designing them that you put them in this folder so that they will then appear in this drop down selection list here. So that's the connection between label connector and the labels themselves, the overall labels, the list of labels that will be connected to the program. So people often say to me, well, can I make a new label, or how can I modify the label that's being used with label connector? Well, you definitely can, and all you got to do is go into this folder and you'll see the file that's connected to label connector if there's only one, and you can make a copy of that file directly by using Bartender and make modifications any way you want. As long as you store it in that connected folder, it'll appear in this drop down here for use with label connector. So so the other aspect to this is how you set up your Bartender label itself. So here you see I've got it kind of a demo label. Now if I were to go ahead and act like I'm going to save this, you'll see that it is in that folder that we just showed you earlier, the C AccuWare label samples folder. So that's why it does work and appear in the drop down list, as do all these other labels that are in that same folder. So now in a label that's going to be used with label connector, what we do is I've created this demo label. These are all dynamic fields that get pulled in dynamically from the QuickBooks invoice in this case. Like for example, here's where the description would print, and we often do that as a paragraph type field. But inside this field, you have to go and actually put the proper name in for it to work properly with our software. So you select the actual data element here, and you'll see that this proper name has been added, and you do that in Bartender by going into this box, and if you were creating a new field, you would add it there. If you have questions on this, we can definitely go over it in label connector, but basically it's a matter of just assigning the correct variable names to all the fields on your label. And we give you those list of variable names to use and the data that they will draw out of QuickBooks in our user guide, which we can provide to you when you purchase the software. So let's go into another place here where we can show you in Bartender. Let's see, data source names. We'll turn on the feature in Bartender that kind of indicates those data source names. So you can see here for invoices, these are most of the fields that are supported in invoices today for pulling in dynamically from the invoice. Again, we can work with sales orders, invoices, purchase orders, or receipts, and also with the item list directly for doing like inventory labels, things like that. So, I hope this kind of covers some of the questions that you might have on, where to save your bartender labels to make sure that they can get used by Label Connector. We covered that first. And then secondly, within a label, how to give them their proper variable names. And again, all of these names that you see in this little blue box here are listed in our user guide as supported fields, in this case for invoices. Hope this helps. Thank you.